everyone, my name is Tiffany and I am here today to tell you a story about an autistic young African American man, as well as to ask for your help in giving him back his freedom as well as helping him obtain justice. The story begins on the morning of May 24th, 2010. Reginald Neli Latson, who was 18 years old on that day, sat in the grass outside the local library in Stafford, Virginia, waiting for it to open. That morning, police alleged that they received an anonymous call stating that there was a suspicious black male who had a gun. A deputy approached Neely that day and searched him for a gun, and it was found that Neely didn't have a gun. Once it was established that Neely didn't have a gun, that should have been the end of the story. But that's not what happened. The deputy then asked Neely his name, and Neely refused to give him his name, and he attempted to walk away because he had done nothing wrong and because he had committed no crime. Then the deputy grabbed Neely and attempted to arrest him without reading him his Miranda rights and without calling for backup. Neely claims he was attacked by the officer and he had to fight back to defend himself. Neely was then arrested and he had to spend the next 11 days at Rappahannock Regional Jail, and he was held without bond. Neely's own mother was only allowed to visit him one time. They were trying to refuse her to visit him at all, but they allowed his school counselor to visit him numerous times. And the school counselor, she was able to relay messages between Neely and his mother. As Neely spent more time in isolation, police interrogators began to find him disturbed and deteriorating and unresponsive. So he was ordered by a judge to be transferred to a mental institution for the next 30 days for evaluation. At the end of those 30 days, Neely was returned to jail for a whole year, and he was forced to spend 8 months of that time in isolation where he was tortured. How can you imagine being stuck in a room by yourself for 8 months with nothing but your thoughts? In addition to that, you already have autism. You already have a condition. So, I mean, that's torturous. That's outright torture. Finally, Neely went to trial, and the trial was over in 3 days, and he was found guilty of assaulting a police officer in addition to some other charges. He was given a recommended sentence of 10.5 years. 10.5 years. Of which the judge did suspend 8.5 years. Thank God for that. But the fact remains, he shouldn't even be serving 2 years, the 2 years that he has to serve now. Neely's defense centered around him having Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism. Neely was diagnosed with this condition in the 8th grade. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Asperger's syndrome, it's a condition that's caused by an abnormality in the brain. And Neely's sentence was reduced to 2 years, and now he's forced to spend another year in a maximum security prison. A prison that houses convicted murderers and rapists. A prison that houses death row inmates. This prison is for people who've done the most heinous crimes. And here we have Neely, a young man who was doing nothing more than sitting outside in the grass, waiting for the library to open. The library that he went to all the time because he participated in the youth program that was at the library. Neely, he did nothing wrong. He was completely within his rights to sit outside in the grass. Where is there a law that says it's wrong for you to sit outside in the grass? Where is there a law that says it's wrong for a young black man to sit outside in the grass? Where is there a law that says that it's illegal for a young autistic person to sit outside in the grass? Show me such law. Until I see that law, Neely did nothing wrong. He was completely within his rights to be where he was, yet he was still accosted by an officer, and he was still questioned and harassed by this officer even after it was found he had no gun and he had done nothing wrong. Because of this incident, because of the things that have been going on in Neely's life, he's scarred for life. He's never going to be the same again. His mother, Lisa, she's never going to have the same young man that she had before as her son. He is forever changed. He's damaged by this. He's traumatized. As you can only imagine how traumatic it must be to not only be attacked by this police officer, then to be arrested, then held in isolation and treated the way that he's now being treated. And Neely, he's depressed and he's deteriorating and he's badly in need of therapy, not another year imprisoned in isolation. How is that going to help him? It's damaging him. I mean, he's severely traumatized. I mean, how is he supposed to understand how it is that now he's locked away in a prison when he did nothing more than sitting outside on the grass on a sunny morning in the month of May? And if it isn't bad enough that this young man has been racially profiled, stripped of his Miranda rights, and held in torturous isolation, now his human rights, his civil rights, and his disability rights are being violated. He is being held in a mental health ward in a maximum security prison for 23 and a half hours a day in isolation. He only gets 30 minutes each day out of his cell to make a phone call, to take a shower, to take care of his personal hygiene. 30 minutes outside of his cell each day. While these hardened criminals who've killed people, who've raped people, who've done unthinkable things, they get to roam free, go outside, hang out in the yard. They get to fraternize with each other. But here Neely is, which Neely, he has a special condition. He needs to be treated in a private facility that can treat his autism. Here he is being locked away in isolation, like he's the one who's killed people and who's raped people. While he's locked away in this prison, his basic needs aren't even being met. He had to go 3 days without toilet paper. How do you go without toilet paper? How do you allow someone to go without toilet paper? His toilet is currently broken in his cell now. The staffers at the prison will not help him fill out a commissary sheet. He's never been to prison before. He's never committed a crime before. He doesn't know how to do the things that need to be done when you're in prison, and the staffers won't help him fill out a commissary sheet. So he can't order the things that he needs for his personal hygiene and other basic needs because they won't allow him, they won't teach him to fill out a commissary form, something that takes nothing more than just a few minutes one time, and they won't help him with that at the least. And to make matters worse, just a few days ago, the staffers at the prison forgot to give him his dinner. And by the time he was actually able to reach somebody and let them know that they forgot to feed him, when they did give him his dinner, it was wrapped in plastic bags and they just threw it to the hole to him. He had to eat his dinner out of plastic bags like he's an animal. And just a couple of days ago, Neely was complaining about rats. And this is information I'm getting from his mother because I've spoken with his mother. She let me know that just a couple of days ago, I believe this was on Sunday, June the 26th, he found a rat in his cell and he was screaming for guards to come help him. There's a rat in his cell and it took the guards 15 minutes to come and acknowledge him. And when they did come, the guards' response was, "What's your problem? There are rats all over this complex. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime." Rats in his cell. Rats that leave feces. Rats that cause diseases. And that was their response to him. And now, not only is Neely suffering mentally because of the trauma that he's been through, now he's fearing for his safety and his health. This kind of treatment is absolutely unacceptable. I don't know how we as people can allow things like this to continue to happen. Neely does not need to be in that prison. He needs to be in a therapeutic facility where he can get the treatment that he needs. He needs to be home. He does not need to be locked away in this maximum security prison for thugs and for killers. So please, everyone, now I'm asking for your help. It's only going to take a few minutes out of your life, and you could possibly be saving the life of a man and also saving his sanity. Please sign the petition that I have included a link to in the information bar, and you also see the web address here. Please sign this petition. This petition is petitioning to the governor of Virginia to pardon Neli, to help bring him home. And the only way we can do this is in mass numbers. This petition needs as many signatures as possible. It's only going to take you a couple of minutes. All you have to do is fill in your name and a few other details and click submit. That's all you have to do. A few minutes of your time, and those few minutes of your time could save someone's life. I am also including the link to a website that was started in 2010 at the beginning of this whole scenario, this whole incident, that gives a lot more background information on Neely, that gives more background information on the incident that happened, as well as details and updates regarding his case and his trial, as well as his imprisonment. So please make sure you take a look in the information box, and definitely check out those different links that I'm leaving there for you, so that you can get more information if you would like to know more about the person that I'm asking you to help. I also encourage everyone to send Neely a card, send him a letter, send him some words of encouragement. He's only 19 years old. He turned 19 years old in prison. He spent the last Christmas in prison alone. He hardly ever gets to see his mother. They've locked him away in a prison that's 3.5 hours away from his home. So he hardly gets to see his mother. He hardly gets to talk to her anymore. And he needs all of the support and love and encouragement that he can get while he's there, for as long as he's there. And I'm hoping that's not long. But the least thing that we can do, if nothing more, aside from signing that petition, is to shower him with love and shower him with support. So I'm encouraging you. I'm putting the address here, and I'm also including it down below in the information box. Please just take a few minutes out of your day, even if you just go to the post office and pick up a card that's in front of the checkout stand. Send him something. He needs help. I've also included contact information at the end of this video for the governor of Virginia, as well as for the warden of the prison where he is located. We need to put pressure on these people. All it takes is one phone call, and if we all bind together and make one phone call, then we're going to flood these offices with phone calls and put pressure on them to do the right thing and to deliver justice to Neely, the justice that he deserves. And please take a look at the articles I have placed at the end of this video, as well as the information box. They tell the story of a trend that is taking place in the same area where Neely's incident occurred. They tell the story of a white woman from Stafford County, Virginia, who was convicted of killing another motorist while driving the wrong way on the highway. This woman pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter, and the judge sentenced her to 9 years in prison, but he suspended all but 8 months of that term. She only is spending 8 months in prison for manslaughter, for killing another person. The articles tell the story of a black man who was falsely accused of raping a little white girl, and the white girl finally told her mother the truth, and the courts fought to prevent the man from being released from prison. And now they're refusing to clear his record and remove his name from the registered sex offender list. The articles also tell the story of a white woman who's also in Stafford County, Virginia, who was convicted of attempted murder for attempting to shoot her boyfriend. She was also charged with brandishing a firearm and using the firearm in the commission of a felony, both charges of which were dropped. And then she was sentenced to 5 years in prison, which every last day of her sentence was suspended for attempted murder. The articles at the end of this video, as well as in the information box, also tell the story of a Hispanic woman who recently died at the same jail where Neely is located. She tried to warn the guards that she was a case of mistaken identity. She tried to warn the guards of a medical condition that she had, and her pleas were ignored. And less than 24 hours later, she was dead. So please make sure you check out the articles at the end of this video, as well as in the information box, because they tell you a lot about why Neely is where he is. I'm asking you again, please sign the petition. Please, if you have a few moments, take some time and make a couple of phone calls. Please send Neely a card or send him a letter. Tomorrow, it could be you. It could be your child, your son, your father, your brother, your friend, sitting in torturous isolation in a cell at a maximum security prison, all because they've committed the crime of being black, or being autistic, or having special needs, or just being different. Please just take a few moments of your time to sign the petition. And for more information, you can contact Neely's mother, Lisa, at avoiceforneli@yahoo.com, and you can also contact her via the Contact Us link on avoiceforneli.com. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and thank you in advance for your signature and for your help.
I am happy. I am happy. I have a dream.
I got a dream.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
I have a dream.
I got a dream.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it out.
One day.
We gonna work it
I
out.
have a dream.
I got a dream.
That one day.
That one day.
That one day.
I'ma look deeper than myself. I gotta find a My dream is to be free.